Okay, remember that they're changing my voice. So I left off on verse 49, where it's saying that Babylon falls and will suffer because of the slain in Israel. And it goes on to say, because of the slain in all the earth have fallen because of Babylon, in all the earth. So the earth falls never to rise again because of Babylon, because of Babylon's spirit, because of Babylon's culture, because of Babylon's dominant characteristics and prevailing tendencies, because of things that are Babylonian. After Nimrod was a mighty hunter before the Lord, Babylon fell, right? Fallen is Babylon the Great. When was it great? It was great when Nimrod was a mighty hunter before the Lord. And any other time in the Bible where God chooses them temporarily. And then it falls. It falls because of sin. Because their conduct is devious. Because they chose things that are vile and detestable. They chose to be idolaters. And they spread that idolatry through Rome and Greece and the West to the world. And just because there's factions of them fighting against each other in Russia, China, America, you name it, any country you can think of, doesn't mean that they're not Babylonian. They are. They're just fighting with each other. They're like siblings that are fighting with each other, the children of Babylon fighting with each other. You who have escaped the sword, leave and do not linger. Remember the Lord in a distant land and call to mind Jerusalem. Quote unquote, it says, we are disgraced, for we have been insulted, and shame covers our faces, because foreigners have entered the holy places of the Lord's house, right? They chose to be idolaters and have idolatrous marriages instead of dedicating their souls and their bodies to the Lord's work. But days are coming, declares the Lord, when I will punish her idols, and throughout her land the wounded will groan. Even if Babylon ascends to the heavens and fortifies her lofty stronghold, I will send destroyers against her, declares the Lord. The sound of a cry comes from Babylon, the sound of great destruction from the land of the Babylonians. The Lord will destroy Babylon. He will silence her noisy din. Waves of enemies. Okay, they say the waves of, it's figurative, right? These waves are figurative. Waves of enemies will rage against, waves of enemies will rage like great waters. The roar of their voices will resound. A destroyer will come against Babylon. Her warriors will be captured, and their bows will be broken. For the Lord is a God of retribution. He will repay in full, right? God is a God of justice, of retribution, who will repay in full. And what is their crime? Their crime is screening off the righteous for countless years, while they're warned time and time again. Israel was warned. Egypt was warned. Babylon was warned. The whole world was warned through the gospel and more. And they remain stiff-necked after many rebukes. And I want you all to write this part down. It says in Proverbs that whoever remains stiff-necked after many rebukes will suddenly be destroyed without remedy. And the Jews in the Bible are called stiff-necked, and the whole world becomes, they choose Babylon, the whole world chooses Babylon with them, right? They become yoked together, right? They're not supposed to yoke themselves to the wicked, and they yoke together. And so the whole world, not just the Jews, become stiff-necked together. And there's rebuke after rebuke, there's sign after sign. Their conscience is warning them. The movies and the stories and their morals, they usually aren't so hidden, are warning them. The Torah, the Bible, even the Quran is warning them, because there's lessons there as well. Now, you have to interpret every book within the boundaries of truth, righteousness, and justice. So how true the Bible, the Torah, and the Quran are depend on how honest you are about what justice is, about what ideal is, about what righteousness is. Okay. So again, the waves of enemies will rage like great waters. The roar of their voices will resound. A destroyer will come against Babylon. Her warriors will be captured, and their bows will be broken. For the Lord is a God of retribution. He will repay in full. I will make her officials and wise men drunk, her governors, officers, and warriors as well. They will sleep forever and not awake, declares the King, whose name is the Lord Almighty. This is what the Lord Almighty says: Babylon's thick wall will be leveled, and her high gates set on fire. The peoples exhaust themselves for nothing. The nation's labor is only fuel for the flames. Now, before I explain the last section here, this is after the prophecy of Babylon. This proves my point to a T. Remember, there's cryptograms, right? Shishak, right? It's a play on words for she's hawk, or yeah, she hawk. She's shack, right? She's hawks. She belongs to the hawk, and he's hawk. He's hawks. Okay? Now, it's referring to people pretending to be me and superimposing their ways on mine. Because again, I'm not Babylonian. My ways don't cover the whole earth. The ways of the United Nations and so on and so forth, their ways cover the earth. The corporate alliances. I'm not from a corporation. I'm not from the government. Their ways are not my ways. I speak out against them. The house divided cannot stand. I make it clear the difference between me and them, unlike a controlled opposition. Every church, mosque, and synagogue is either a Democrat, Republican, Libertarian, or some other form of controlled opposition that's obvious. That's their ways, not mine. I'm not yoked to any of them. I rebuke all the churches, mosques, and synagogues. I rebuke the government in God's name, and I'm Christ. I rebuke them. I rebuke every nation in the world and everybody on this planet who's cheating me out of my right to lead, except for my parents, who are blameless. But as we get to this section is very key here. It says this is the message Jeremiah. And in the word Jeremiah, you have the word Eri, which is the Igbo word for the Skywalker, the son of God. And my tribe is the Igbo. Akiro Obi means black belt. Obi in Igbo means King Heart Hut, Essence Center, Temple Core. And the word Obi is Igbo spelled backwards. Igbo spelled two ways, IBO and IGBO, where the G is silent. So we also see that the prophet gave to the staff officer Ariah, son of Neriah. Ariah is a play on words for Eri Aha. And Hor Aha means Horus the fighter, Horus the warrior, Horus the top martial arts. Look it up, Hor Aha. Okay? And Hor is a word for Horus. So it's saying Eri Aha, the Skywalker, the Horus. And another word for Horus is Haro Aries. Look that one up. H-A-R-O-E-I-R-E, H-O-R, let's go. It's Haro Aries. H-A-R-O-E-R-I-S. Okay? And that means Horus, the great one. So Eri means the great one. It means the son of God. Okay? Like there's good God, meaning the king, and the great God, meaning God Almighty. So when it says Ariah, son of Neriah, it's a play on words for Eri Aha, Eri the warrior, son of Near High. Near High, right? The Most High, the Almighty. Okay, and there's other wordplay there. The son of Masiah. Masiah. Excuse me, I don't know how to say it, but one way or another, it says it's scrambled, and it says son of son of Ham as he I. Ham as he I. So you see the Eri and you see the Ham as he I. And there's cryptograms and anagrams in the Bible. And we see that Marshall is marital scrambled and I Christ and the bridegroom. And so, as we see that, again, what had happened here is that people kind of stopped there for a second and that the wordplay came into play. And again, it's not a coincidence that the government made it harder for me to talk. So your government is damning you into hell for what? If I become famous, which I doubt, chances are I'll die soon, my flesh that is. If I became famous, how does that interfere with them? There's 22.5 million millionaires and billionaires in America. There's celebrities like the grains of sand on the beach, like Gog and Magog. So why would they try to stop me? Because they hate you and your offspring. They hate their own offspring so much that they seek to stop me. The Lord rebuked them to the extreme. When he went to Babylon with Zedekiah, king of Judah, in the 4th year of his reign, Jeremiah had written on a scroll about all the disaster that would come upon Babylon, all that had been recorded concerning Babylon. He said to Sariah, when you get to Babylon, see that you read all these words aloud. Then say, Lord, you have said that you will destroy this place so that neither people nor animals will live in it. It will be desolate forever. When you finish reading the scroll, tie a stone to it and throw it into the Euphrates. Then say, so will Babylon sink to rise no more because of the disaster I will bring on her, and her people will fall. The words of Jeremiah end here.